Welcome back to new viral drama, where Hollywood's dirty laundry doesn't stay folded for long, especially when it's this messy. Diddy's courtroom chaos just hit a whole new level, and it all popped off thanks to one shocking move. The judge brought in Ben Chew, the same powerhouse lawyer who helped Johnny Depp crush Amber Heard in court. Yeah, that Ben Chew. And guess what? Diddy was not feeling it. Insiders say he completely flipped behind closed doors. And get this, we're only on day 3 of jury selection, and things are already spiraling. Over 160 possible jurors have been shuffled in like it's a high-stakes reality show, and just like that, boom, 49 were instantly tossed out. The rest, they were put through a pressure cooker of nearly 100 questions, from what media they trust to how they really feel about Diddy.
Ben Chew, you put Johnny Depp on the stand. It's always a high-risk strategy. It worked for you. If you were representing Sean Diddy Combs, would you put him up?
Well, we put Johnny up because he was telling the truth. So that was a very easy decision to make, and he had the burden of proof, and frankly, we couldn't have stopped him even if we wanted to, but we didn't want to. Telling the truth as he did over several days, you're not telling the truth, skilled attorneys on the other side are going to puncture that. I believe in that system. I think in this case, I don't think he's got any choice. Given that video, he's got to explain it. He's got to say that he's terribly sorry for it, but that was an aberration. That's not who he is. He simply has to say.
One even said straight up they don't like him. Yikes. Others looked totally shook just hearing about the disturbing accusations tied to this case. Some couldn't even keep eye contact when the allegations were mentioned. Now, it's been cut down to just 35, and it's a wild mix. Teachers, factory folks, designers, social workers, all from different backgrounds and ages ranging from their 30s to their 80s. Can you imagine someone's grandma possibly helping decide Diddy's fate?
One of the producers over there at MTV at the time, who was super cool guy. He actually had the camera walking with us, you heard me, to Brooklyn to get the cheesecake. The first Art Dialogue interview, you heard me, that I did, he DM'd me, and I definitely talked to him. He was like, "Yeah, bruh, how you been, Chop?" I'm like, I'm straight, bruh. Appreciate you hitting me. Long time. He like, "Yeah, bruh, I appreciate."
And this is just the beginning. The courtroom heat is rising fast. Then came the twist that had everyone in the courtroom doing a double take. The judge called in Ben Chew. Yes, that Ben Chew, the lawyer who had Johnny Depp walking out of court like a champ. But he wasn't there to represent anyone this time. The judge had him speak on how celebrity trials actually go down behind the scenes. And that's when Chew dropped a bomb that shook the room.
That is considered sexual harassment, Sarah. I think that's considered sexual harassment, not what Sarah tried to do, you dig? So with the Kirk situation, I don't know. It just don't sound far-fetched. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. I haven't experienced that with Diddy, so I can't, I can't be like the people that exaggerate and say things that's not true. All I can say is 100 things from my experience. And my results for that answer is, it don't sound far-fetched.
He revealed that in most high-profile cases, people are dying to get on the jury, but not this time. Why? Because this isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a serious criminal case packed with disturbing accusations.
So far, 19 jurors have been qualified. The magic number here is 45, because once the panel reaches that number, the prosecutions and Combs' defense lawyers will use their strikes to get this group down to 12 jurors and a number of alternates. Here's what we know about those who have qualified so far. 2 women have said that they have been sexually assaulted decades ago in the past. They were allowed to continue on. And another woman who said that she had once been arrested for shoplifting for stealing a wand from Harry Potter's world at Universal Studios, also in that panel. Several jurors were dismissed, including one who had seen that hotel surveillance video. She had called it damning evidence, and for that reason, the judge had excused her from the panel. Jury selection will continue Tuesday morning until they get to the magic number 45 and go through those strikes. The judge thinks that will happen this week.
We're talking graphic evidence, raw testimonies, and details so dark that even potential jurors are backing away. Nobody wants that smoke. Diddy? He's reportedly shaking. Insiders say he had no clue Chew was going to be brought in, and when it happened, he absolutely lost it backstage. His legal team is now worried that having someone like Chew speak could quietly influence how the jury sees this whole case.
What you see in here don't go outside. It was kind of like that, if that makes sense. whatever happens in here stays in here, because everybody got something to lose in here. So it's kind of like that too. So I guess that made people be okay and willingly able to do whatever they wanted to do in there. You heard me? Because they knew that at the end of the day, it wasn't going to come back out of there. That's why people were so eager and fun to do what they wanted to do in there. Just my opinion. Because everybody has something to lose.
Before the trial even starts, and the drama's already spilling, one juror got booted after revealing they worked at HBO, the same network that just dropped a whole documentary digging into Diddy's dark past. Yeah, this jury pool ain't looking too neutral. One potential juror straight up didn't mention they were connected to a criminal defense organization. And get this, they're still in the running. But starting Friday, both legal teams finally get to use their peremptory strikes, which means they can boot jurors without giving any reason, as long as it's not about race or gender. And according to Ben Chu, this part could be game-changing for Diddy.
You also have a member of the team going through the social media of these jurors, making sure they didn't do anything. I mean, how much research can you do in terms of, did they search for something? Did they say something? I always am curious about that, because you come into court the next day and you always hear a prosecutor or defense attorney say, court, we have an issue we would like to bring to your attention. Juror number 5 was looking, it's like, how did they find that out? Is that what happens?
Well, it is in a high-stakes case like this. I mean, as you know, not all clients have the resources to hire, jury consultants and to hire investigators. But in this case, you have a defendant who could theoretically be sentenced to life in prison, who has the means. So I'm sure, or I would think, that his counsel have a team of investigators following the jurors around to the extent they can and looking for any electronic footprint.
Now, I mentioned before how can you believe the jurors? How do you know they're telling the truth? Well, I'll tell you what we've seen so far in the Combs jury selection process, you have what seems to be a lot of honesty, okay? Because you had one prospective juror who told the court that she had been sexually assaulted as a teenager, and that if the defense brings up at trial that, look, these alleged victims didn't report what they say happened to them, this juror indicated they would understand why, and they would be biased in the alleged victim's favor. This juror was excluded.
But the jury drama is just the appetizer. The real storm is coming from the prosecution, and it's brutal. They're locked and loaded with damning evidence, including a 2016 hotel surveillance video that allegedly shows Diddy physically assaulting his ex, Cassie Ventura. That same video already aired on CNN, and while Diddy has publicly apologized, prosecutors aren't letting it slide. They say it's part of a long-running pattern of abuse. And the accusations don't stop there.
The juggernauts, the big dogs, the people we grew up watching, it was kind of exciting too. It was weird, exciting, and because you can't believe that you're here. They are accepting you. But I don't really think they was accepting it. They just was fucking having fun. They ain't give a fuck who was there. And it was kind of like a situation towards,
Prosecutors say Diddy ran wild sex-fueled events he called freak-offs. Wild parties allegedly drenched in drugs, coercion, and hidden cameras. We're talking ketamine, mushrooms, and a whole setup allegedly designed to record women without their knowledge.
I quit. And so it don't, with the curse situation, it don't sound far-fetched from what I've heard. You dig? I haven't ever encountered that type of situation with Diddy. Thank you, universe, because I would be in jail right now, facing life or doing life. But I haven't encountered that type of Diddy, you dig? But I don't know, bro. If it walk like a duck and talk like a duck, obviously, it might be a duck. It might be true, bro.
All this detailed in the court documents. And it's not just prosecutors speaking out. Rapper Chopper recently came forward claiming Diddy's got a twisted, hidden side the public never really saw. This isn't just messy, it's starting to look dangerous. Now let's talk about the truly twisted stuff. Reports of Diddy's bizarre behavior just keep piling up. One claim says he allegedly made an unwanted move on an MTV cameraman during a shoot.
This morning, day 2 of jury selection in the racketeering and sex trafficking trial of Sean Combs, seen in court with graying hair. Federal prosecutors are trying to prove Combs used his power, wealth, and fame to force women into drug-fueled orgies he called freak-offs and then threaten them into silence.
and the guy ended up quitting the job afterward. That ain't normal, but it gets even darker. Prosecutors are saying Diddy didn't just manipulate, he used straight-up fear tactics. We're talking guns, arson, and full-on intimidation to keep control over his victims. One alleged survivor, believed to be Cassie.
Your interview, you heard me, that you did on Art of Dialogue. I said, thank you, I appreciate you, bruh. And he was like, you ever notice why I was shooting with y'all and then all of a sudden you haven't seen me after that? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I said, why is that? He said, because one time Diddy invited me to his office and told me to suck his dick. And he was like, he said, I damn near wanted to kill him, bro. He was like, I left the office and I just...
Told investigators that during a heated argument, Diddy allegedly held her over a balcony. Like, really? And court records claim this wasn't some one-time thing. There were multiple incidents just as disturbing. And that lawsuit with Cassie, it may have been settled in under 24 hours, but it lit the match. Since then, 11 more individuals have stepped forward with civil lawsuits.
The jury questionnaire warning potential jurors there may be evidence of sexually explicit videos, photographs, and language. Many prospective jurors said they had heard of the case, and this potentially damning evidence, video first obtained by CNN showing Combs knocking then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura to the floor of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 and kicking and dragging her. It was upsetting to watch, one woman told the judge, but I don't know the full story, so I can listen to the facts.
Each with their own stories to tell. Diddy, for his part, is denying everything in these new lawsuits, but the weight of it all is crashing down fast. Despite the storm brewing around him, Diddy's team is doing everything they can to spin the narrative, claiming he's the real victim of a smear campaign meant to destroy his legacy. But prosecutors aren't buying it. They say this ain't no hit job. This is years of unchecked power finally catching up to him. And let's be clear, the feds aren't playing. Sources say investigators have been collecting receipts for over a decade, quietly building their case. From financial records and flight logs to unreleased footage and internal messages, they're reportedly sitting on a mountain of evidence that could bury Diddy in court.
Many prospective jurors said they recognized the names of other celebrities that might come up at trial.
Several potential jurors knew of Combs' cultural significance. The woman said she remembered him from Making the Band. A man said he liked to listen to hip-hop in the 1990s.
Can't nobody hold me down.
When Combs became a chart-topping artist. To remain in the jury pool, all had to say they could be fair. The judge tried to keep things moving, so when the defense asked for a bathroom break, Combs apologized, saying, "Sorry, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous today."
Behind the scenes, people from Diddy's own circle are allegedly flipping. Assistants, ex-bodyguards, former collaborators, folks who were once close to him are now speaking up, some even offering to testify. And it's not just one or two. Insiders say a growing list of former insiders are lining up with their own stories and receipts.
I seen that too. I seen uncomfortable to my eyes situations for sure. That I don't rock with, you heard me? That's all. I don't rock with it, you know?
And when you would see these celebrities at these parties, they was cool with the environment. They was cool with everything.
Absolutely. Having a ball, like it was 1999. So I don't know, bro. I'm talking about celebrities. I'm talking about big time celebrities. You dig? I was just young city. I was just Chopper. You heard me? But to see like the...
At this point, it's no longer just about Cassie or even the other lawsuits. It's about a whole pattern of abuse, control, and power trips that might finally be coming to light. And if even half of what's being said is true, Diddy could be facing way more than just lawsuits. This could end with serious time. As the legal walls close in, Diddy's empire is starting to crack from the inside. Several of his business partners are reportedly pulling away, not wanting to get dragged down with him. Some brands are freezing deals, while others are straight up cutting ties behind closed doors, and fast. One insider claimed nobody wants their name next to his right now. It's toxic.
I think you want somebody who wants to serve, someone eager to serve, because that suggests that person might be inclined toward a celebrity like Diddy. I would also, in this case, I would want men, not because men support abuse, but I could see this being very difficult for women jurors. I would want younger jurors as well. I don't know that older jurors would be good for him.
Do you care where they get their news? Do you care if they go on social media?
Even some A-list celebs who once stood by him are going ghost. No tweets, no statements, not even a thinking of you text. That silence is loud, and fans are noticing the sudden distance. People are even digging up old interviews, side-eyeing everyone who once praised him. It's like a slow-motion industry breakup, and Diddy's at the center of it.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Meanwhile, sources say his inner circle is shrinking by the day. Friends are going quiet, staff are quitting, and a few people close to him have reportedly lawyered up themselves, just in case they get pulled into the storm. This whole situation is sending shockwaves through the entertainment world. It's not just a celebrity scandal anymore. It's turning into a full-blown collapse of a legacy.
I wouldn't care so much about social media. Certainly watching you on Law and Crime would be a real problem. But no, I wouldn't care too much. I mean, in fact, if they were reading the celebrity media, TMZ, Rolling Stone, that might be an encouraging thing for Diddy's counsel.
Now, Ben, according to the court today, they expect preemptory challenges on Friday. I have a lot of jurors who saw the Cassie tape.
And with each new headline, each leaked doc, and every whispered betrayal, it's looking more and more like Diddy might be fighting this battle completely alone. Now here's where things get even wilder. Word on the street is that Diddy's team tried to strike a private deal with key witnesses to keep certain evidence from ever hitting the courtroom. Yeah, hush money offers. According to legal sources, at least 2 people were approached with undisclosed cash offers in exchange for silence. But not everyone took the bait. One of those witnesses reportedly rejected the money and instead handed everything over to federal investigators, including alleged audio recordings and screenshots.
You have a lot of jurors who were exposed to this case or something that's been going on with Sean Combs, know who he is, maybe know a list of the celebrities or places that were potentially going to be brought up in this case. Difficulty of sitting 8 weeks on this jury, but they're going to be seeing and hearing a lot. Do you think that it's going to be tough to sit a fair and impartial jury in Sean Combs' criminal case?
Well, I think they will have a fair and impartial jury.
If that's true, this could seriously flip the entire trial upside down. And it's not just money that's being thrown around. Rumors say Diddy's reps were also promising career favors, legal support, even relocation for a few of the people tied to this case. It's like a movie, but darker and very real. Prosecutors are now said to be investigating these alleged interference attempts, which could add even more charges if they prove Diddy tried to obstruct justice.
I think the problem is going to come in, with the Cassandra Ventura's tape. I mean, whether you've seen that before, you're certainly going to see that during the trial. And I think that's highly problematic, obviously, for Diddy, whether they've seen it before or not.
Yeah, because the prosecution is saying she was not only running away from Combs, she was running away from a freak-off, that there was a sex worker in that hotel room, and that goes to the charge of sex trafficking, and also racketeering, because sex trafficking is a part of that as well. Okay, so the trial's about to start.
The courtroom isn't just where this drama is unfolding. It's spilling into the streets, the studios, the inboxes, and every corner of the industry. And the more Diddy's team tries to control the damage, the more out of control it all gets. At this rate, the cover-up might end up being just as messy as the crimes he's accused of. And just when you think it couldn't spiral any further, leaks are hitting the internet like wildfire.
We know that Sean Combs early in the week said to the court, I'm feeling a little nervous today. Let's say openings begin day 1, May 12th, okay? What do you advise your celebrity client to do and not to do as this trial begins and progresses for 8 weeks?
I would remind him to remember that every second he is in the courtroom, at least one juror and probably more are going to be looking at him. So he should act as if he were testifying every second he's in the courtroom.
Over the past 48 hours, several anonymous accounts have started dropping what they claim are never-before-seen clips and internal messages tied to Diddy's wild past. Some of it is unverified, but it's spreading fast, and the court of public opinion is eating it up. One leak allegedly shows a heated argument backstage at one of Diddy's old shows, where he's seen screaming at a staff member while security tries to calm the situation. Another post included what looks like screenshots of private messages, with one account claiming, "This is just the beginning. He knows what he did." Social media is in chaos.
Diddy has a very good jury consultant, probably more than one, who was profiling the type of juror who would be most sympathetic to him. And I think it's wise for attorneys, even experienced attorneys, to defer for the most part to those jury consultants. Now, ultimately, it's the client's choice, and the client should be participating in the process, especially where it's here, his liberty is at stake.
And was that something that you had in your case where
hashtags about Diddy are trending every hour, and fan pages are suddenly flipping into expose hubs, reposting every new piece of dirt?
One shocking freak-off the prosecutors allege the Diddy indictment occurring around this incident involving Cassie.
The new video obtained exclusively by CNN.
Prosecutors said there was a male prostitute still in their hotel room. That, prosecutors say, shows that Cassie was trying to get out, and prosecutors in court quoted messages from Cassie talking about the bruises, the fat lip that she was left with.
Initially, Diddy denied all wrongdoing, but after the surveillance video surfaced, he spoke out on his social media.
The internet is on detective mode, and every move he's made in the last 20 years is under a microscope. Some fans feel betrayed, others are calling for accountability, and a few diehards are still defending him. But no matter where people stand, everyone's watching. And if these leaks keep rolling out, the courtroom might not even be the place where Diddy loses it all.
Also say they found recordings of freak-offs, and the evidence was then used to blackmail these women if they didn't cooperate more.
Diddy's longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, filing a lawsuit against him last year that changed everything.
The internet may just destroy him first. Meanwhile, Diddy's family is feeling the heat, and they're not staying quiet anymore. Sources close to the situation say that some of his relatives are distancing themselves, both in public and behind the scenes. One family member reportedly told a journalist off record, "We didn't know it was this deep. We're shocked." Even more shocking,
your client wanted to get involved in the jury selection process, because it's been reported that Diddy has been almost like nodding to his attorneys or maybe even shaking his head regarding certain prospective jurors. Is that common? Is that what you saw?
Rumors are swirling that one of Diddy's own children might be cooperating with investigators. While nothing's been confirmed, insiders claim there's been private meetings and back-channel communication happening for weeks. If true, this could be a total betrayal bomb inside the courtroom. The emotional toll is starting to show.
He would direct her how to touch the sex worker, how to pour oil over her body, and he would watch these things happen while he was masturbating.
Cassie Ventura's lawsuit gave the blueprint for the Southern District of New York to investigate Sean Combs, and the lawsuits that followed gave the brick and mortar to build the case against him.
A close source said Diddy's been paranoid, restless, and constantly checking phones, worried that someone close to him might flip at any moment. He's reportedly fired 2 longtime staff members in the past week, accusing them of leaking info to the press. And remember, this is a man who once controlled entire rooms with a glance.
I think that is common, and it's natural that you would want to have some role in in choosing the people who decide your fate. And it also gives the client, I think, some measure or some feeling of control in a situation where any defendant would have to feel a profound lack of control, because this is not as he's used to controlling his business, his social life, and this is a situation over which he has almost no control. So this is an opportunity for him to have at least a modicum of control.
Now, he's watching his empire crumble piece by piece while trying to figure out who's still truly on his side. When blood starts backing away and secrets hit too close to home, it's no longer just about guilt or innocence. It's about who's left when the lights go out. And right now, it's looking real lonely around Diddy. Diddy's legal team isn't backing down. They're gearing up for a full-blown war in court. At the head of the squad, criminal defense shark Mark Aglow, the same guy who's repped everyone from cult leaders to controversial CEOs like Farmer Bro, Martin Reilly.
And these preemptory challenges, each side will get a certain amount of them to strike jurors. It doesn't have to be for cause, it could be for whatever reason they want, but there are limitations. So they can't strike jurors because of race or gender or ethnicity. How on earth is the court supposed to know that? How on earth, the defense, the prosecution's not going to come out and say that's the reason they're excluding a juror.
This ain't his first high-profile mess. His crew says the charges are way overblown, painting Diddy as a man who simply lived a consensual swinger lifestyle. According to them, that 2016 hotel video, they're spinning it as a toxic moment in a messy relationship, not evidence of abuse or trafficking. But here's the boldest move yet.
Diddy's defense team giving a preview of their version of what was happening behind the scenes.
The defense has tried to recast, not as evidence of sex trafficking, but as the simple breakdown of a 10-year loving relationship. And the judge interrupted and said, what's love got to do with that, with kicking someone?
Cassie's lawsuit would be just the beginning of Diddy's downfall. It was settled in 24 hours, but at least 11 others have since come forward too with their own civil lawsuits. Diddy denies the allegations in these lawsuits.
Diddy has straight up rejected a plea deal. That's right, he's saying he's innocent and fully prepared to clear his name in front of the world. No settlements, no silence. He wants to fight. So now it's a standoff. On one side, prosecutors, alleged victims, witnesses, and a mountain of evidence. On the other, Diddy, his lawyers, and whatever loyalty he's got left in the industry. This case is about to go nuclear, and you don't want to miss what's next. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to New Viral Drama, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with anyone who needs the tea. We'll be back real soon, and trust, the next chapter is going to be even hotter.